Due to computer. Thank you.
Okay. And do you want me to stay on the promoting to panelist and just kind of keep an eye on that?
Yeah, I can promote people as they come in.
Oh, beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that on my end.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Yay, we're officially starting. I am a little bit excited. I've been wanting to work with Lance for a hot minute, and we finally got to connect. And yeah, I'm like really kind of freaking out about the app and everything that he's got going with you guys, and it's amazing. Um, I know I'm assuming, is this, y'all will be at the premieres in Atlanta this year. Is that my understanding? Okay, yeah,
Most of
very
them will.
cool.
Yeah, we have some people that have already finished the program that are now in here as well.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so I may have seen some of you in person before. I was stepping in for my agent every once in a while to do some scouting,
Are you
but
still with
she's
Jara?
mm-mm.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like,
No, no, no.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Ended up changing to DDO because they've got offices all over the country. So I just wanted to
Oh, I need to find out who they are. I've never.
expand. Yeah.
DDO, who's the owner
Um,
or the main person?
in Atlanta, it's Candace Stewart.
I don't think I know them.
Well, I'll just have to
Yeah,
introduce you
we'll have
then.
to snag them on the premiere. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. I ended up changing age because and she's amazing and she's local to Atlanta and I can't say enough about her. For me, I was kind of at a place in my career, and we can talk about this kind of stuff too, where I've gotten. I'm kind of wanting to get to kind of that next level, and kind of start to go in for stuff in the bigger markets and things like that. So, and those are all very strategic decisions that you'll make along the way in your own career, and you just know when it's time and things like that. But I say that to say I may have already seen some of you in person at some of the past premieres in Atlanta, but. Regardless, Lance has graciously asked me to come in July and in December to your other one. So I will be there and teaching live, and I teach primarily online. My students are all over the world. I literally have a student in Brisbane, Australia right now. She gets up at 5 a.m. to take class. Y'all,
Wow.
y'all. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? She's like, well, I used to get up at 2 a.m. during the pandemic. I'm like, girl. So I share that to share. You're gonna hear, and if we hang out, every month when we do this, I hope that you do. He's bringing on professional coaches and the whole situation to help you. This is all about you. And what I know to be true, my friend, is confidence is a byproduct of training. And the things that I'm going to share with you tonight, and as we get to know each other if in our monthly workshops and things, I am here to help you. I have a passion and a drive for helping other actors. So much so, there's been times I've kind of put my own career aside because getting that email, hey, remember that audition we worked on? I booked it. Let me tell you, a casting said XYZ. About all when the stars align and we book. It's a beautiful thing, and I get just excited as you do. So I'm very, very passionate about helping you. People have helped me along the way. I didn't know it. I didn't know what I didn't know when I first started. So the only difference between us is I've just been doing this longer. That's all. That's all. But I trained my rear end off. I will tell you that. And that's what Lance was referring to if you were on a little bit earlier, is we both did programs in New York. And yeah, it's very, very, very intense. So I want to respect your time. This is not a lecture class. I've got some sides we're going to look at. We're going to do some what I call non-script analysis, script analysis with the Meisner training that I've had over the years. So it'll be all about you. We'll get up here. Real quick, I think it's important, especially when you're meeting a new coach or a teacher, not to just believe everything they say because they say it. I think you should know where someone's training and background comes from and their resume, because I will tell you there is no certification or diploma in acting coaching or acting teaching. So just because somebody says I get very protective of my actors, because I want to make sure that you're being taken care of and you're getting real training, and you're in a good place with Lance. That I know to be true. So real quick, grew up doing musical theater. I'm a singer, and I write plays, and I do concerts, and I do a lot of acting. And long story short, I went up to New York. Always that was always my dream to be. I was a theater kid, want to be on Broadway, and I fell into this really incredible training called Meisner. And if you want to get serious about it, this is the book. Like the things I'm going to teach you tonight, I didn't come up with myself, and I think it's really important that you know that this is where it comes from. Sanford Meisner, and this is his book. It's called On Acting. Thriftbooks.com, the library. You don't have to spend a bunch of money on it. So, long story short, you know how God, the universe, whatever that is for you, you know, who you think is orchestrating things in your life, it's pretty radical when things line up, isn't it? And I was waiting tables because that's what you do when you're trying to pay for classes, right? And this gal came in one night and we started talking. She said, I just graduated from the Maggie Flanagan Meisner Conservatory program, and it changed my life, and you need to run there. And I was kind of flailing. New York's a really big place. LA's a really big place. If you don't have direction, well, heck, Atlanta's pretty big now. If you don't have some kind of focus or direction when you first start go, you know, and that's what I appreciate what Lance is doing for you is at the end of this, or maybe you already gone through your showcase, you are getting up in front of legitimate agents and casting directors. So you do have a real opportunity actually here to really take the next steps in your career. And what he's done with 541 is he's orchestrated all that for you. You just got to show up and do the work. So it's pretty awesome. I didn't have anything like that when I first started. So long story short, I went to that school. It's a 2-year program. It was the hardest freaking thing I've ever done. Incredibly demanding, but I learned so much. And I ate a lot of humble pie because I thought, well, I'm an actor. I've been paid to act. Schitt's Creek, anybody? Hey, I paid to act, yay. And I just didn't know. I didn't know that I was acting so hard. Meaning I was pretending, I was performing, I didn't know anything about the craft of acting. But now that I do, I'm really passionate about teaching Meisner and everything that I learned because it completely changed my life. Because what I learned is that acting is an experience between you and another actor. It's not really acting at all. It's truthfully experiencing something in the body, in the heart, and in the soul, and in what I call the emotional gut. And I mean, let's think about the actors that you respect and admire. Let's think about Viola Davis's Oscar-winning performance in Fences with Denzel Washington. Has anyone seen that film? So amazing. Please study that film and study those performances. I had the privilege of seeing Fences on Broadway before they took it to a feature film, and they were just as incredible in person. But there's a scene where Viola Davis just cries and cries and cries and cries, and it's what we girls would call the ugly cry, right? Where it's just all coming out, right? Our mascara's going every which way, like, but what's so brilliant about her, she doesn't give a rip. Because it's not about her. Acting's not about us. It's about the story. It's about serving our scene partner. It's about this experience between me and the other actor. It's actually not a selfish thing. I think we get kind of in this, oh, it's all about me and my IMDb star meter and all this stuff. It's not about us. It's about telling someone else's story. And unless you're writing and producing your own stuff, you're going to be telling someone else's story for the rest of your career. So you may as well find an audition process that is simple and clear and doesn't stress you out. Because if you are actively auditioning, I got like 4 in a couple of days a few weeks ago. I was like, OMG, you know, and I have a life and I have a job and I have all these other things. It's like, I can't be stressing about how do I prepare this audition when I have 4, you know, several to do in a day or something like that. And frankly, I know a lot of actors hate to hear this, but it is kind of the job. It's kind of the job to audition. So we'll get to that. what I'm going to share with you tonight, if I share any personal examples from my life or career, I'm not a famous actor. You had no idea who I was until tonight. I'm more known as a coach, but I've gotten some really beautiful opportunities, and I attribute those opportunities to my training. My first job on a big set was in a Stephen King movie called Cell. It was based off of his novel Cell, if you're a Stephen King fan. Weird book, right? I played Denise. She was a supporting lead in the movie, and I got to work with Samuel L. Jackson and John Cusack right out of the gate. You may have heard of them. Probably hadn't heard of me, but you may have heard of them. And yes, Sam Jackson is just as amazing as you think he would be. He's old school. He came up as a stand-in, I think, for Bill Cosby back in the day. Like, he went to New York. He did theater. Like, he's worked so hard to get to where he is. But I'm going to tell you, that kind of audition, there were two things in that audition that if you're not trained to do this, you probably would have either not gotten the audition in the beginning because you don't have that kind of training on your resume, but two, you may not have known how to approach it. And here's what I'm getting to. In that audition, I had to act as if I was being strangled to death. It's a horror movie. It's Stephen King. And I had to burst into tears in the middle of a scene when Samuel Jackson shoots my brother in the head. I just ruined a whole scene if you haven't seen the movie. Sorry. That's difficult to do. It's easier to emotionally prepare yourself as the actor to come in the beginning of a scene, like say in a place of devastation, rage, tears of joy, right? Those heightened emotional states that you see all the great actors do. It's easier to come in at the top. It's really difficult to just burst into tears in the middle of a scene. It's really hard to do. I can teach you how to do that. It's really hard to do. And how do you act strangled in an audition? I don't know, right? You have to have and that's called an impediment. That's another workshop I want to teach at some point later in the year. But physical impediments. How do you act like you're on cocaine if you're not on cocaine? How do you act like you're drunk if you're not drunk? Right? And think about all the shows and films that you see. You see actors do this stuff all the time. But having a process and a simple way to approach it, that's everything. And those are two of many things that I learned in Meisner, is how to access my emotional life quickly and with accuracy. Clarity is the word I'm looking for. So if the director needs you to burst into tears, he doesn't need you to punch a hole in the wall. That's not what he asked you to do. He asked you to burst into tears. That's very specific, right? So being able to do those things, all day, I got that opportunity to work with those amazing actors, but all day it was my training. So let's play. Let's get into it. I'm super interested. Feel free to use the chat or unmute. I don't care. Who has heard of Meisner? Who has heard of other acting techniques? Yeah, great, Mia. Maya or Mia?
It is Mia.
Mia?
You're getting it right the first time. I truly do. I actually heard of Meisner because I'm actually from New Jersey, but I never knew that there was a conservatory. So that was something new to learn about. So I'm like kind of interested now. It's like very interesting. But I'm definitely going to be picking up that book.
Yeah, if you can not everybody has that luxury or that time freedom to invest 2 years into 3 years, in an MFA program, a Master's of Fine Arts or a Master's of Acting or something. It's typically a 3-year program. If you can do that, by all means, do it. Not everybody has the luxury, so I'll give you as much of it as I possibly can in these workshops. Heard of Meisner? Yeah, great. So there's Meisner, there's Strasberg, there is Adler, there's Chubbuck, and all of these techniques came from Sanford Meisner, Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler, Ivana Chubbuck, she's a little bit newer. The other three, they were born and raised in Europe. They came over to New York back in the day, and they all hung out and they wrote plays and they were on Broadway and they did all kind of stuff, and they figured out different ways to teach acting. Meisner, I was taught, is a foolproof technique, foolproof technique, meaning you can use it for the rest of your life. There is another technique that asks you to drum up trauma from the past when you have to go into heightened emotional states. There is another technique that asks you to bring in your current trauma when you have to get to heightened emotional states. And I'll tell you a secret. I have had actors come to me or to another Meisner class from those techniques because they didn't like it very much. Didn't really want to go back to something they'd been in therapy for 10 years to heal from, right? They're not trying to. One of my girls, this girl Constance, back in the day, she came into Meisner from another one, and she's like, I feel completely traumatized because my teacher was trying to get me to tell everybody in the class all this, stuff I'm dealing with in my life. And don't you think acting can be something separate? Why are you doing this? Because it's fun, I hope. Y'all don't do this if it's not fun. It's too much. It's too much work. If it's fun and you have a passion and you have a drive for it, then let's figure out a way that you can come to heightened emotional states and you can do that beautiful work that you see all the actors you respect and admire and want to work with do, but that also protects your heart, your spirit, and your soul, and your mental health, right? It's so important. So, when I was taught Meisner's a foolproof technique, this is what my teacher was really trying to say. You use your imagination. When we go into heightened emotional states through Meisner, you do put the most important person or pet in the circumstance, and that's very difficult to do. And then you put them in an imaginary circumstance that is do or die. But here's the beauty of that. Once the scene's over, guess what else is over? That heightened emotional state. And it's all in your imagination. So it's all pretend. You just have to believe it. You just have to put your actor's faith hat on. What is the definition of faith? Come on now.
Confidence.
Things that are not seen.
A belief in something that is not seen.
Belief
Faith.
is not something. Yeah.
Yeah, all day, all day. I was like, come on now. I know you know that, right? Right? It's believing in that which is unseen, right? So, but it's the same thing in acting. Isn't that beautiful? Actor's faith. Do you ever think about that? Isn't that cool? I was taught that. I can't take credit for that. So we put our actor's faith hat on, and then we believe the imaginary circumstance unequivocally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, every last detail about that. We'll do that in another class. We'll talk about crafting imaginary circumstances. I'll do a whole workshop on emotional access, all that kind of stuff. We're not going to get too deep into it tonight, but I just want to kind of lay the foundation for what Meisner is. And because if he's going to keep bringing me back for workshops, I just want you to know what the heck all this is and where it comes from. Because after tonight, you can go and take this. If you want to work together, you can go in the app and we can do coachings and we can work together. But regardless of whether you want to do that, it's totally up to you. You can take this and start to read on this and really start to learn a lot. Okay. So your imagination. So your homework after today is don't do anything at work tomorrow, it's Saturday. I don't know if you work tomorrow, but if you work Monday, don't get any work done. Just daydream, just fantasize, just think about all kind of wild, crazy circumstances. Your imagination is the best tool you can possibly have as an actor. Destiny.
I was gonna say I daydream all the time.
Great! You're well on your way to being a great actor. I love it. Okay, so let's get to it. I promise this wasn't a lecture class. So I have a couple set of sides. Does anyone not know what the term sides means? And there is no stupid question. The only stupid question is the question that's not asked. Latasha, okay? Yeah, okay.
I don't know what sides means.
Okay, great. I'll teach you. Yay! I get to teach you something tonight. Sides is a couple of pages that casting directors pull aside to give you to audition for any random character, whether it's in their television show, their short film, their vertical short, their feature film, okay? So I have a set of sides that was from an independent film, and I'm going to teach you a process of preparing for an audition without engaging the left brain. Let me say that again. We're going to work on a process of preparing your audition tonight that does not engage the left brain, because acting is an experience. As actors, we feel our way into our work. We don't think our way into our work. Okay? So for some of you really smart folks, I had an engineer I was working with earlier. Oh, my Lanta. I was like, stop being so smart, right? We're going to go into the right brain tonight. We're going to play, right? And so if you are a real analytical type, this will free you. This will free you from all that. At least when it comes to acting. Okay? Okay, cool. So, may I have 2 actors that identify as female? I'm just going to go with the first 2 hands I see. Destiny and Mia. Okay. And, I thought I saw Aaliyah. Did I say your name right? Would you read the stage directions on these sides that I'm about to pull up? Awesome. Does everyone know what stage directions means?
They like tell you where the actors go.
It can be all kinds of things. It can be something for the camera operator to go, okay, character walks into the office. Okay, great. Then we need to know that so that the camera operator can get that shot on set, right? Or it can be, and now she breaks into tears. Okay, great. Whatever it is, step 1, if you are an analytical type, and let me get my sides up here. Step 1, read everything on the page. And that's going to be including the stage directions. Okay? So, Destiny, can you read Stella? And can you read Kim?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And I might Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
And can you read, do you know where the stage directions are?
Well, it says the buzzer announce someone.
Yeah, it's everything but. It's this line, it's these lines here, it's all the action that's happening. Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. So, and again, for my analytical folks, so step 1, if you're a little bit type A, I'm not type A, you're type A. I'm a little type A. Step 1 is just read everything on the page. Just read everything on the page. There's nothing to perform, right? There's nothing to, just get the words off the page. Let's all just together figure out what's happening in this circumstance. And we'll go from there, okay? Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Okay, let's start at buzz.
Buzz. The buzzer announced someone outside Stella's door. She shoves the newspaper into the bottom drawer.
Come in.
The door opens. Stella sees who it is. Stella stands up and shuts the door. She tries to be casual.
So what's up?
I just came by to tell you I'm leaving town for a while.
Where you going?
Not sure.
What happened with Rick?
Kim gives her a strange look.
Rick's dead.
What? How?
Car accident. The police said he crashed his car into a tree out on the country road 78.
The police?
Yup, and some kids said they saw some big old brown car parked on the side of the road near where it happened.
She walks over to the window and looks out at Stella's car parked in the lot. The front grille is damaged.
Anyway, I wanted to give you this.
She hands Stella an envelope. Stella looks inside. It's full of $100 bills. Stella looks back at Kim.
I was saving up money for when I ran away from him. I don't need it anymore.
Hey, listen, I really don't know what's going on here.
Take the money, Stella. I told the police I was with you guys at the bar before I went to the hospital. They may come here to confirm my story.
She nods towards the Buick.
You need to buy yourself a new car, quick.
Beat.
It's not the way you think.
I don't care how it is, just take it. I gotta go.
She walks towards the exit of the lot.
Thanks for everything.
Excellent. Okay, thank you, Aaliyah. So we need the stage directions again, but it's super important. A lot of actors, when they're getting into this, whether it's auditioning for theater or film and TV, they just get their sides and they just start saying their lines out loud. This is how I'm going to say it. I'm going to practice how I'm going to say it. Why do we do that? We don't practice how we're going to speak in real life. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Okay, Destiny, in your opinion, just based off of this first read, what is the circumstance here? Meaning, who am I? Where am I? And what am I doing?
All right. Well, I'm Stella. I am one of Kim's closest friends, I assume. Um, Also, I'm at my house. I'm basically just chilling. I was reading newspaper and I heard somebody come to the door, so I answered it. And what was the last one? Sorry.
And yeah, you're nailing it, seriously. And what am I doing?
In the scene overall,
Hmm.
basically. Okay. I am I am avoiding the conversation, I want to say.
Oh.
Like I'm trying to find out another word to put it though. It's like I am to Kim, I'm basically trying to
Can I
find a word.
stop you there, Destiny?
Uh-huh.
Because that's enough. You don't need anything else. You got it.
Oh, okay.
No, seriously, girl. Like, yeah, really, really, really good. And when we get to the end of this, you'll understand why I'm like, no, 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 really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need, right? So Meisner teaches us to keep things simple and not overthink stuff. So you're going to hear a lot of that. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay, great. Mia, in your opinion, what is the circumstance here? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing?
So, my name is Kim. I'm at my friend's house because I know like what car hit my, well, I guess now ex-boyfriend, but my boyfriend because I was anticipating on running away. So, I could tell that like I was there to like kind of like thank her for kind of like getting rid of him. And like I guess my goal was to like let her know that like, I appreciate her friendship, but I gotta go because it's gonna get real crazy.
Why are y'all so smart? Stop being so smart. I give these sides out every time I teach this workshop because it's kind of vague. There's not a lot. There's no character breakdown, which if you don't know what that is, when you get an audition, it's just literally a breakdown of the character. It may have some adjectives. Maybe she's quirky. Maybe she's short. Maybe she's, but some sort of description, but there's none of that here. That's pretty good. You basically got the whole thing. So I don't want to go any further on the circumstance yet because I want to dive into the next exercise. So step one, again, for anybody who wants to sort of have a process with this, is what they just did. Cold read, which you're going to hear that term a lot in acting, cold read. It's just a read you haven't warmed up to yet, right? None of this stuff is fancy. It's just what people call it, okay? So it's just a cold read, so you just read everything on the page, including the stage directions, so you know. Because things like this, the buzzer announces, okay, she shoves the newspaper into the bottom drawer. She stands up. She tries to be casual. Before she basically even speaks, there's so much about her we already found out. And that's why we can't blow by those stage directions. And think of it this way, if the writer wrote it, it's there for a reason. Seriously. Okay, great. So step two. In the beginning of Meisner training, we do this exercise called the repetition. And it has its place and it has its reasons. We're going to take that kind of and put it on steroids tonight. We're kind of just going to take a very beginner exercise, but already apply it to text, to an audition, where if you were starting in Meisner, you would not see words and scenes for a minute. But hey, let's fast track some stuff. So all you're going to do, ladies, is you're going to say the line on the page, and then you're going to repeat what your scene partner just said. And then you're going to say your next line, and then you're going to repeat what your scene partner just said. And then you're going to say your next line, and then you're going to repeat just that last bit of what you remember your scene partner said. And I say that because on lines, this is 2 lines. This is, you may not remember, take the money, Stella. I told the police, right? It's a little bit longer, some of these speeches. So you're just going to repeat the last bit of what you heard your scene partner say.
After we say our line first, and then we say,
So it'll go, come in. So what's up? So what's up? I just came to buy, right? And then Mia, I just came by to tell you I'm leaving town for a while. You just came by to tell me you're leaving town for a while. And then you go get your next line.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay. And there's a reason for this. And I promise, it seems a little weird at first, but we'll talk about after what you discovered by repeating what your scene partner just said in out of your own mouth. Okay. So that's it. That's it. Yeah, let's just play. Action.
Come in. So, what's up?
What's up? I just came by to tell you I'm leaving town for a while.
You just came by to tell me while you leaving town for a while. Where are you going?
Where you going? Not sure.
You're not sure yet? What happened with Rick?
What happened with Rick? He's dead.
Good, good. We want to be word perfect. So Rick's dead, right? Yeah, good. Oh, good. No worries. No worries. Let's go back to what happened with Rick. And if you can, I know we're on Zoom, if you can connect with your scene partner and then go get the line and then connect and then go get the line. Yeah. Let's start with what happened with Rick.
What happened with Rick? Rick's dead.
Rick's dead? What? How?
How? Car accident. The police said he crashed his car into a tree on the country road 78.
He crashed his car into a country road on 78. The police?
The police? Yup. And some kids said they saw some big old brown car parked on the side of the road near where it happened.
Some kids said they saw some big old brown car parked on the side of the road near where it happened. Oh,
Oh, wait. Um, Wait, can you go back up? Anyways, I wanted to give you this. I was saving up money for when I ran away from him. I don't need it anymore.
you were saving up money for when you ran away from him. You don't need it anymore. Hey, listen, I really don't know what's going on here.
What's going on here? Take the money, Stella. I told the police I was with you guys at the bar before I went to the hospital. They may come here to confirm my story.
They may come here to confirm your story.
Oh, wait, that was on mine. Sorry. You need to buy yourself a new car, quick.
I need to I need to buy myself a new car quick. It's not the way you think.
It's not the way you think. I don't care how it is. Just take it. I gotta go. Thanks for everything.
Can you repeat that last line, Destiny?
Oh, wait.
It's
Thanks for everything. Oh,
Repeat.
wait, no. She got a
Repeat.
one.
Repeat.
Thanks for everything. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, so now here's my question. Did you discover anything further about your character's points of view?
Mhm.
Um,
I did.
Mia, what did you discover?
Okay, so it's kind of like answering your own question, or like, so I felt like I was more answering all her questions, but I was also like, what do you mean what I just said? I said, like, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. So it's kind of like it feels more urgent, you know? Now I feel like my character is more urgent and trying to like help her like move.
Interesting. Ha! Everybody else, keep that in your back pocket because she's onto something here. Okay, Destiny?
Um, I would say adding more tactics. I feel like I was adding more tactics because going off what Mia said, piggybacking off her, basically like by me repeating her line, it gave me some more tactics with my character towards her to reach the goal of like I'm trying to avoid you, basically. I feel like I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I feel like Stella in the scene is basically when we do that, I feel like it's more of playing. I don't want to say playing. It's a tactic she's using basically. Because I don't want to say I'm playing something, but
You're play. I feel like the best word to say, which is so bad, but like playing dumb, like you're
that's
like
what I want to say. But I knew I can't say that. I knew, ain't that right,
Why?
Aaron? I can't say playing
She's
dumb.
totally playing. She's totally trying to get out of this.
Yeah.
Yes, it literally said that she's nervous, and that's like when I reread that, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, she's
Yes, yes,
so
Okay, I
yes.
couldn't say that. Okay, I didn't know if I could say that or not.
No, you're totally doing. Yeah, you're that,
Okay,
and we do that. That's a thing in life we do. We play dumb when we either don't want to be in a situation or
right.
we don't want to get involved or like no, never heard of it. Okay, bye, see you, bye, have a good day.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
That's
I
such a
could,
human thing.
yeah, I could see that more now by repeating what she was saying. I dive deep into what Stella was actually doing. Yeah.
Okay, so here's for everybody. So you're going to take classes where you're going to hear about script analysis, and I have an objective, and I have to do something, and I have to all this left brain stuff. Analysis for me is like that makes me think of a spreadsheet. That makes me think of taxes. I hope you got them done. Okay, that makes me think of not acting. That does not make me think of acting. So what I'm really doing here is walking you through a simple and organic way of analyzing the script without analyzing it at all. That's actually what I used to call this workshop, how to analyze a script without analyzing it at all. Because what these girls are doing right now, these actresses they are trusting their instincts, right? I'm not telling them what they're supposed to think or what they're supposed to do. They're trusting their instincts. They're going back to the text. They're repeating each other's lines. And suddenly, and quite frankly, it was pretty clear to both of you at the beginning, which was pretty awesome. And I say that because that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it takes until after this next exercise we're about to do, until the circumstance becomes really clear to the actor. So that's why I was just like I'm so proud of both of you because I was like, oh shoot, they got it. But this is a simple or organic way of understanding the circumstance. Okay? Simple and organic because it's coming from our heart and our gut. It comes from our gut, right? Well, our gut, what's up with the gut? Well, that's where our wisdom is, right? I have a gut feeling about something. That's a thing. That's like an actual, like, medical, like, scientific, that's a thing. Because they talk about intuition, that's where it lies, right? So we're gonna work from our heart and our emotional gut in acting. Okay, now let's do one more exercise and let's see what happens. Now, so you understand the circumstance, you understand a little bit more about your character's point of view. You're not gonna hear me say ever the character you're playing. I don't believe in that. Because when an actor hears, I'm going to play a character, they naturally, subconsciously start to change who they are. And in film and TV, when I stop acting and I'm just myself, I do so much better. Film and TV is very different from theater in a way, because in theater, you have to make sure that your grandmother in the back of a 4,000 seat house can see you, feel you, all the things. In film and television, there's a camera on our face. And then sometimes it gets closer. And that's called a close-up shot, right? I know some of you know some of this stuff, but I also don't want to assume that you know all this stuff. So with film and TV, I heard a casting director say yesterday that a lot of producers nowadays are saying just do less. Stop doing so much. Just actually trust that the writer is going to give you something that makes sense to say. Now, you're going to hear me say a lot your character's point of view. Because these gals have a point of view, which is what? Just how do I feel about it? We have a point of view about everything. You have a point of view about the news. Stop watching the news. Please watch Abbott Elementary instead, or Schitt's Creek instead. Don't do that to yourself, right? You'll still know what's going on, I promise you. But we have a point of view about everything in life, but we don't always express it. But in acting, we have to. Because expressing our full, unconsequential, unfiltered, authentic point of view, that is what Miss Viola Davis did in Fences, and that's why we're all mesmerized by that. Because she didn't hold back. Okay, so I'm going to table that for a second. Let's get into this next exercise. This next exercise, if you take a traditional Meisner program, you're going to get to this exercise in the training, and it's called the paraphrase exercise. Over the years, respectfully, I have changed it to the internal dialogue exercise. Because oftentimes when I ask an actor, can you just paraphrase that line for me? They go into their left brain and they just reword it. That does nothing to activate your emotional life, I'm going to tell you right now. However, if you go into your heart and your gut, anyone know the great motivational speaker Lisa Nichols? Should look her up. She's really great. She has this thing she says, sometimes the truth is wrapped in sandpaper. Okay. And what she means by that is, well, exactly that. The truth doesn't have a filter. So what I'm going to ask you to do is say the line on the page and then immediately, without thinking about it, praying about it, meditating about it, coming back tomorrow, instinctually, immediately, like you're playing ping pong with somebody and you just gotta hit it back or pick a ball. Who are my pickleball players? I love it. Right? You just gotta immediately hit it back. You're gonna speak from your heart and your gut, and you're gonna say what you're really thinking and feeling. And I can't tell you what that is. Your truth is your truth. I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong. Okay, so that's all we're going to do. You're going to say the line on the page and then immediately say what you're really thinking and feeling. And I don't know if we've got kids in the room tonight. That it might have some dirty words. I don't know.
You want us to say our line first and then say after, or we're supposed to, it's kind of like repeating the same line, or are we like
You're
carrying
saying,
on the sentence?
yeah, you're saying the line on the page and then you're going to say what you're really thinking and feeling about it. The line on the page and then what you're really thinking and feeling about it. Because here's the thing. Just because a writer asks me to say I love you doesn't mean always mean I love you. We say things we don't mean all day. To save face, to save relationships, to not get into a 2-hour conversation with the checkout person at the grocery store. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? It's the American way, right? It's what we do. It's what we say. It's so untruthful. Actually, I feel pretty horrible. I just got a phone call that my grandmother, you know what I mean? We're not truthful. We're not that kind of truthful in life, but that's what we have to have in acting, is our unfiltered truth, okay? So let's just play. Let's just see how this goes. Say the line on the page and then immediately, what are you really thinking and feeling? It's like what you don't want the other person to know.
Okay.
What the character thinking or feeling, or what we?
My intrusive thoughts.
Could be either.
Okay.
Because you are. It is you, Destiny. It's just you with a different point of view. Acting is just you, y'all. It's just maybe you're putting on somebody else's glasses that have a little bit different focus and a different lens for that day.
Okay.
But it's still you because you can't be anybody you're not. Okay? Yeah, let's play. Let's just play. Let's just see what happens.
Come in. Kind of busy right now though. So what's up? I really don't care, but what's up?
I just came by to tell you that I'm leaving town for a while. You know what you did? Oh, wait, I felt like I wasn't supposed to say that yet. Oh, wait, I truly appreciate you.
Where are you going? I mean, I hope you go far.
Not sure. Probably California.
What what happened with Rick? I mean, hope he's going with you too.
Rick's dead. Honestly, I'm kind of grateful for it.
What? How? I mean, I really don't care.
Car accident. The police say he crashed his car into a tree outside of the country road 78, but I don't think it was an accident.
The police? What do they know?
Yep. And some kids said they saw some big old brown car parked on the side of the road near where it happened. And I know it was your car. Anyway, I wanted to give you this. Something to help out with the accident. I was saving up money for when I ran away from him. I don't need it anymore. So you can have it.
Hey, listen, I really don't know what's going on here. Let's just keep my name out of it.
Take the money, Stella. I told the police I was with you guys at the bar before I went to the hospital. They may come here to confirm my story, and I don't need you getting caught up in anything. You need to buy yourself a new car, quick, because that is not going to work.
It's not the way you think.
I don't care
I-
how
It's not the way you think. Look, I don't want nothing to do with this.
I don't care how it is. Just take it. I gotta go. I'm catching my flight right now. Thanks for everything. And I know you meant to kill him.
Well, that's so interesting. It's so interesting because what was coming out just then? Destiny, what was that like for you? What did you further discover about Stella and her point of view, how she feels about this?
Um, she doesn't really want anything to do with the situation. Um, she Stella realizes what she's really has done, because then she's getting nervous when she hears the word police, when Kim mentions about the police. And Stella seems like the type of character that's not really blunt. She seems like she's a very sweet and calm friend, and she really doesn't say what she wants to really say.
Well, why wouldn't she want to say what she really wants to say in this particular situation?
Um,
Because what did you do for her?
I killed Rick. I I killed
What
Rick.
kind of a woman would murder another woman's partner?
A woman, I don't know. I think it was by accident. No, no, because Kim gave her money,
Yeah.
so she did it on purpose.
And what
Then
kind of a woman? You already know the answer. Who is Kim to you? She's your what?
she's my closest friend.
She's your sister, your best, your soul sister, something, right?
But the police is involved now. So in those
Correct.
circumstances, the stakes are high. So Stella is trying to basically in this scene get out of it.
100%. But then what does your best friend do for you?
She gives me money. She gives me money.
Saving up money for when I ran away from him? She's probably giving you her what? Her life what? Her
Savings.
life saved. Do you see where we're going with this, y'all? And again, we're not analyzing the bejesus out of this thing.
But that's evidence though. Like her giving me life savings is evident. And that's why I feel like that's why she said that line. It's not the way you think.
Of course. Yeah, you're spot on. She's trying to cover this thing up all day. But at the end of the day, her best friend came back around. She gives you her life savings. You're good. She says you need to go buy yourself a new car. Quick.
Gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't this incredible? What you've done for her. Now, Mia, what did you further discover about Kim?
That she would do anything for me.
What a gift. You know, they say if you have like three really, really, really close friends your whole life, that's like a gift from the heavens. Like three amazing friends you could trust with your life, you know? So nowhere on this is where we're going with this, everybody. Nowhere on these pages does it say Kim and Stella are best friends. Kim is in an abusive relationship. Stella, right? It doesn't say that. We have to figure that out. And I love these sides because they are a little vague. We have to do these exercises for everything to come to light, right? So now we're getting to the good stuff where you're pretty much ready to tape it. The only other decisions we need to make is if you were going to emotionally prepare, where you hit record, you emotionally prepare your instrument, which is our heart and our gut. Our whole body's our instrument, right, as an actor? But if we need to prepare our heart and our emotional gut to come into this scene, what are you going to prepare for, Destiny? Are you going to prepare for triumphant joy? Like you just had your first, holding your first child in your arms, you won a, $10 million lottery or something.
What I would do is prepare myself by imagining that I committed a crime. I'm not gonna be thinking about, something joyful. I'm going to be I ain't gonna say probably. I'm going to be imagining myself sitting in court and being sentenced for something that I did, and it could be like a lifelong sentence or like a death penalty or something like that. Me basically as Stella, as the character, going to be like thinking about those things in the back of my head.
Okay. Great. That's not the circumstance here, but it makes sense because where we're going is what are you going to emotionally prepare? And I'm going to guess from what you just shared out of where your imagination's going to go, which was awesome, by the way. Nervousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Now, Mia, I'm going to get into Meisner for a second. In Meisner, we study 4 human temperaments or human emotions. Same thing. Triumphant joy. That's different than being happy. I'm happy when the restaurant gets my order right. Triumphant joy. It's different. Devastation. We don't have to prepare to be sad. We're sad all the time. Devastation. Viola Davis and Fences. It's different. Murderous rage. Angry. I get angry when this happens. Murderous rage. Different. And the last one is terror. How many horror movies do you see? It's different than being scared. I'm scared to get on I-285 sometimes in Atlanta. But I'm not terrified to the point that it keeps me home. Those are different, right? So we don't train in acting for the types of emotions that we feel on a daily basis. We have to train to access those heightened emotional states, but in an authentic way. You can see an actor that's not trained, that doesn't know how to cry, can't cry yet quickly in a scene, and this is a very classic thing. Right? They kind of fake it and pretend at it. My teacher said, bad actors pretend, good actors do. And what she meant by that is truthfully do. You're going to truthfully show up at your best friend's house and give her your life savings, right? Or you're going to truthfully prepare for of devastation, murderous rage, terror, or triumphant joy. Which four of those emotions, if you could only pick one, Mia, would you pick for what she's done for you?
Only one? I can't combine two. No. Um,
Think about that very here.
I think
Y'all.
I think I might pick. Oh, wait, okay, what were you gonna say?
Okay, y'all, if you get nothing out of tonight, when in doubt, go back to the text. When in doubt, go back to the text. When in doubt, go back to the text. Go back to this very last line, Mia. What are you saying to her?
So triumphant joy.
Oh, let's go all day. Yes, ma'am. Why? Stop being so smart. Yes. Because why? Because what did she do for you?
She killed my man. You know
But
what
what did she do for you? Not what him.
oh, she saved me from
She's. Stop the phone. What did you just say?
she saved me.
She saved me. Holy moly. Okay, now. And again, we've just done exercises to get to where we're about to go. Now, here's the last one. We're going to do the scene just as it is on the page, but I'm going to ask you to say a line 3 times in a row before you go into it. And that's based off of what you both have shared about what I'm going to emotionally prepare for to come into this. I had to do this earlier. I went in for Murdoch Murders. It's a, if you know that, it's actually horrible. It was a crime that took place in South Carolina, but Hulu's making a series out of it. I had to go in as a detective, and I had to see, I was the detective that was seeing the crime scene at first, and it was incredibly overwhelming. I had to put that stuff in my imagination. And I was thinking to myself, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together. Because it was just so horrible what the detectives was seeing. So Destiny, I'm going to ask you before you come into the scene to say, I have to hide this. I have to hide this. I have to hide this. And Mia, I'm going to ask you to say, you saved my life. You saved my life. You saved my life. But before that, can everybody do an exercise with me real quick? Can everybody put one hand on your heart, one hand on your emotional gut? Take a big exhale. Breathe out any tension in your body, any nervousness you might feel, what you're thinking about having for dinner tonight. Breathe all of that out. We have to find a way to prepare our instrument as an actor to go into the acting space, whether it's on set, in an audition, in a class, on stage. And when you're ready, Destiny, will you say, I have to hide this, I have to hide this, I have to hide this. And then Mia, will you say, you saved my life, you saved my life, you saved my life.
I have to hide this. I have to hide this. I have to hide this.
Mia?
Saved my life. You saved my life.
Action.
Come in. So, what's up?
I just came by to tell you that I'm leaving town for a while.
Where you going?
Not sure yet.
What happened with Rick?
Rick's dead.
What? How?
Car accident. The police say he crashed his car into a tree on Country Road 78.
The police?
Yep. And some kids said they saw some big old brown car parked up on the side of the road near where it happened. Anyways, I wanted to give you this.
I've been saving up money for a while when I ran away from him. I don't need it anymore.
Hey, listen, I really don't know what's going on here.
Money, Stella. I told the police I was with you guys at the bar before I went to a hospital. They may come here to confirm my story. You need to buy yourself a new car. Quick.
It's not the way you think.
I don't care how it is. Just take it. I gotta go. Thanks for everything.
Y'all, let's give these ladies some love. That was phenomenal. That's the scene right there. It's not you're not performing. Film TV is not performing. Okay, yes. I did oh my gosh, do you know the Miss Pat show on BET Plus? I worked on that last year. It's very over the top, right? There's a lot of physical comedy on that show. Sometimes there's some performing that's going on, okay? Right? I don't want you to take what I just said to every single audition opportunity you have. You just have to take it show by show, circumstance by circumstance, audition by audition. But what you both just did, that's the scene. And it didn't take you 10 years or 10 hours to study. I think actors, they prep too hard and they overthink stuff. You just told somebody else's story. Domestic violence is it's very dear, unfortunately, to my heart and my family's heart. And I won't bore you with the story, but it's a very real thing. You're telling somebody else's story every single time you get an opportunity to audition. Yeah, Destiny.
I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you so much for helping us out. I will say for me personally, I have a hard time with overthinking when it comes to my acting in particular. I just have like a few questions. Could we have, you said that it was good, but could we have like dive more, like try new things? Because I overthink a lot when it comes to acting in general. So it's like, could we have don't dive deeper, more trying like different things? Because I hear this saying like directors be like, try this, try that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is there any situation to where that happens? Like,
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, when you get on set or you're in a callback, everyone knows. So a callback, just to make sure everybody knows, it's like the second round, basically. A lot of network television doesn't. You just book straight off a tape. I've had one callback for television before. It's usually just you just book it. Feature film's a little bit different. They can take their time a little bit more, but television is like they're like doing one, an episode a week. But typically but let's say this was a self-tape that you had to turn in. What would you have done differently?
um, uh, that's where I have that's what I have trouble thinking about. But to just guess at the top of my head, I feel like trying new tactics maybe or
You
something.
could, but is it going to really change it that much?
I hmm. Because I don't want to see when I want to try new things, sometimes I'll be thinking, am I performing or am I not you know what I'm saying?
I do. I honestly do. I truly do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where I'm kind of going with it is you could have turned it. Is anything else we're going to do differently? Is it going to change? Because what you both just did was so honest
Okay.
and so authentic. I mean, it seemed that way. It felt that way. Like, let me check in with you, Mia, Destiny. Like, how are you feeling? Like in your heart, in your gut, in your body. You're gonna hear me say that so much. Your body's smarter than your brain when it comes to acting. Your body's smarter than your brain when it comes to acting. Your body's smarter than your brain when it comes to acting. Think on that for a second.
I feel like this time I didn't feel like I was thinking about too much. And I feel like I was using my brain of more act, like just working instead of thinking like, okay, how do I say this line? What do I say next? and like kind of like felt more in the moment, in my opinion, than like I usually do when it comes to like certain roles. I guess like, but I also do understand where you're coming from, Destiny, because I'm like also like that, where I'm like, okay, could I say this line a little bit different to make it seem a little bit more emotional? But I
Mm,
feel like, as she said earlier, like less is more.
you're
So
right.
if people can like, I feel like it would be more for tone. I feel like I would probably work on for myself, but I don't know if that's like a thing as well. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I hear you. And Amani, I got you. I know you raised your hand. I got you. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. Real quick, just let's wrap this question up. So I'm going to teach a two takes workshop. How to find two takes in 2 seconds. I love a good tagline. How to find two takes in 2 seconds. I'm a little bit of a nerd, y'all. Sorry. Um, but what I'm trying to convey to you, listen, you can do that 17 different ways. But at the end of the day, is it authentic? And is it truthful to what's on the page? And that's why I keep saying, when in doubt, go back to the text. When in doubt, go back to the text. When in doubt, go back to the text. Because what you just did there, I got no acting from you. I got authenticity and honesty and truth from you. And this thing I had to tape earlier, I finally I got there. I was in my head. I'll be honest, I've been doing this a really long time. I still get in my head sometimes. I'm not trying to say I've arrived anywhere, but anyway, once I just stopped thinking, I was like, ah, that's it. That's a take. Okay, we're done. So just know that I could give you 17 different other ways to do that scene, but would it be is that what the director's going to ask you to do when he gets on set? Is that the story you're telling? And I think that's what we've really got to ask ourselves. Is the director going to, is he going to do it any differently? Does that resonate with y'all? And because I want to get to Amani's question too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt good doing it. It's just like further on for future auditions, I asked that question to know like is it okay to just try different things. But honestly, I really felt good doing that scene that we just did because I wasn't in my head and I was just focused on the objective really in the imaginary circumstances in the moment. So
I love it. And a real quick thing I want to touch on what Destiny said earlier about, well, you know what? I'm going to imagine that I am on trial for murder. What I loved about that, and I've taught this workshop so many times, y'all, and I've used these sites every time. I've never once had an actor say that's what they're going to do. And what I appreciate and respect so much about that, Destiny, is because you created an imaginary circumstance in your head that created the same behavior that the writer's asking of her. It is crystal clear in those sides. She is nervous. She is feeling all some type of way, right? What the kids say these days. I'm cool. I'm cool. It's feeling some type of way, right? Right. I'm trying to keep up with my 12 and 13-year-old nieces right now, y'all. And everything's cringy, Aunt Erin. It's like, oh, dear God, if I ever hear that word again. Okay, anyway. We'll all get to know each other so well over the next few months. But it was still the same thing. And so here's what's great about Meisner is as long as you're creating the same behavior that the writer and the director is asking of you, you can be thinking about something that has nothing to do with script. And that's how it protects your mental health, your spirit, and your soul. And I will go to my coaching grave saying that. And that is why I believe so much in Meisner. You don't have to, and God forbid if you've gone through something similar, and I hope none of you have. Like I said, that hits home for me and my family, but I can separate that and know that that's something that life happened, but this story I'm telling is more important than me right now. You can set those boundaries along the way in your career, and your boundaries are your boundaries. Set them. Okay? Real quick, yeah, Amani.
Hi guys. I didn't have a question. I was really just responding to Destiny, just just to say to her that in certain instances, as long as you're pulling some type of emotion, I think as a casting director, it's their job to go into more depth about what you could have did to go further into that moment. But for self-taping, I feel like it's just how you tapped into that particular moment. That was really it. I also, because what you said with the 3-step, the repetition, I've taken like some workshops before, and I've had that, like, even with my stepdad, we joke about it. He's like, think about your sister bugging you to take something from you, like, want to use your phone. Depending on the mood you're in, like when you're annoyed, how are you going to respond to her telling her to stop or leave you alone? When you're mad, how are you going to respond? It's going to be a different response based off of the mood or the emotion that you're in that moment, how you respond to that. So every time you repeat it, it'll come out differently. And somewhere in there, you found yourself, in one of those responses.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. Samantha and then Mia.
Oh, hey everyone, but something that I wanted to speak on was like when you say should I add more emotion to something? Sometimes being overly emotional doesn't make your performance seem more realistic. Sometimes the lack of emotion can sometimes make people feel like, oh, this is something that's affecting you deeper than if you were like crying. That's why they say that just because someone cries in a scene, it doesn't make it more real. Because I could see someone crying and not feel nothing, but I could see someone not crying and feel everything.
Well, that's really interesting too. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, what we want to create is an authentic scene.
Mhm.
And if it calls for tears and it makes all the sense, great. But if it doesn't, right. We don't necessarily want to add more than what's there. Yeah. Yeah. Nice point, Samantha. Thank you. Yeah, Mia.
I have more of a question. I would say, like, what would be the best way to like practice this without like a scene partner? Like, cause say if like you have like an audition coming up and you want to prepare before you get with your scene partner in this fashion, like, what would be the best course?
Yeah, honestly, I prep all my stuff on my own and I'll just read my scene partner's lines and then say them out loud. I'll just kind of do that myself. But for me, the internal dialogue, when I do that, that's when I understand what I'm really saying. Casting directors are going to talk a lot about bring yourself to your audition, bring yourself, and no one teaches you what the heck that even means. I think this is a way to achieve that. Because here's the thing. Every one of you could have done that scene. And you may have found a little bit of a different meaning than what Mia and Destiny found. Does it make your interpretation wrong? Does it make it right? The heck if I know. This is art. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if it's perfect. I don't know if it's good. I don't know. What I know and what I breathe as an actor is it authentic? Is it truthful, or am I performing or trying to do something to impress I don't know. How's a director going to shoot it? Well, I took a self-tape class and my teacher said never lose eye contact with the reader. There's a class out there that teaches that. Be careful. This is why I started tonight with there is no degree in acting coaching. You got to go inward and trust your instincts. And if something doesn't feel right, listen to that. Because there's a class that actually teaches that. And to that I say, okay, so for your Walking Dead spinoff 7 and the zombies chasing you to eat your face off, you're just going to stare at them because I was taught never lose eye contact in the reader for every audition. For real. What are we doing here, right? In fact, for the Miss Pat show, they ended up changing the role, but I went in for a meth head tweaker. Whoa. Now, again, I'm not saying that to impress you about me, to impress upon you that how I was trained with impediments. So I knew I've not done crystal meth before, but I knew how to approach it in an authentic way with the sores and everything else and the physicality that was as truthful that I could do it. Well, in the sides, it didn't say that the character is on the floor, but I started my first take on the floor because it made sense to me based on the circumstance. And I don't know, who knows why you book anything. But what I know to be true is that opening moment, and that was Raven Drummer. She cast a lot of stuff for BET and for Tyler Perry. And what I know to be true is when she saw that, it was probably just a little bit different than anybody else's because I made a different choice. And what did I do with the camera? Brought it down here. I pulled my backdrop down, but I brought it down here. Well, my teacher said to stand for every audition. There's a class like that. Ugh. I'm like so glad I'm getting, if some of you are new, a little bit newer to all this craziness, I'm so glad I've got you now because I want to debunk all that craziness that's out there. There's some whack stuff you're going to hear. Learn as much as you can from as many people as you can. And then you have to decide what tools you're going to put in your tool belt. Because there's just no one way to approach all this. I think that there is, but we are all different people, and I acknowledge that. Poof, going on a tangent. I don't know where that was coming from. Authenticity and truth. That's what we were talking about. Authenticity and truth. Oh, I know what I was saying. How's the director going to shoot this? I love to approach my auditions that way. How's the director going to shoot this? Huh? Because that gets me out of self-tape rules that my teacher taught me. Boo. You know how I feel about that. There's no technique. What is the truth of the scene? Record it. Turn it in. Go on with your day. What is the truth of it? Go back and watch it. Am I acting? Am I performing? You got to be so honest with yourself. You got to eat so much humble pie to be an actor. I ate so much. I still do. You know? I thought I saw somebody else had a question. Amani, yeah.
It wasn't a question. I was gonna say, Mia, a suggestion. I know one thing I've tried for auditions when I don't have anybody to film with, I'll read the full scene. I'll record myself doing the full scene, and then I'll stop, and then I'll record myself doing one of the characters and then the other, and then you can read one or the other based off listening to the video, so you can like respond back to yourself on camera.
It's cool.
Well,
You got all kind of ideas, Imani. I like it. I love it.
Website called We Audition. Love it. On a different note, same tattoo. Funny.
Yeah. I love it. Y'all, and Ian, I'll get to you in just a second. Can I offer this? How many people are in the Zoom room tonight? 38? Be friends. Be friends. You don't need to pay for somebody to read with you. You want to pay for coaching and classes and training and become the best artist that you can possibly be while you're on this planet? That's different. Be friends. Be friends. Exchange information, whatever you're comfortable with, obviously. But you got a lot of actors in 541. A lot of actors. For a reason. He's doing something really great. Awesome, yeah, or maybe it's your social if you do the IG, whatever, your DM. But seriously, and that's why I tell all my classes, like, if you want to pay for and I do a lot of audition coaching. I did 2 of them just today. I do a lot of audition coaching. If you want that, great. And it's like a mini class every time we work, or it doesn't have to be me if it's a different coach you want to work with. That's completely fine. But for a reader, I just want y'all to save your money. I just want you to save your coins. And I love those services, and I'm not poo-pooing on them. I tried We Audition actually a couple years ago. I'm not poo-pooing on them. It's an amazing. I just want you to save your money. Because the amount of money I've spent, y'all, training and classes and workshops, is insane. Okay, Ian.
Hi. I'm working on the monologue that we're filming for the premiere. And so I was wondering with the internal dialogue exercise, if you were doing that with the if you were doing that with a monologue and not a scene, would you like how do you do that? Do you do like a line of the monologue and then you do the subtext and then another line and then you say what you actually mean and then another line? Is that how you do that?
Why are you so smart? Stop, y'all. Stop with the smart. Yes, sir. It's exactly what you do for monologue. And I
Okay.
was so excited that you brought that up because that's a brilliant way to find those different levels, right? You know, you'll probably talk about that when you go to film your stuff. Is right. It's there's this thing in monologues about it not being all the same thing. You just want to start somewhere and you want to end somewhere else. Let's just keep it simple. That's really what they're all saying. You want to start somewhere and you want to end somewhere else. So yes, because here's what that exercise is actually about. It's about learning to wed yourself to someone else's text. It's to wed yourself to someone else's text. Sun's going down. I was using some natural light. Wed your, right? And again, that's why every one of you could have done that exercise and you may have found a different meaning in it. We have different life experiences. We're raised in different parts of the world. We're all so different. It stands to reason that every audition might be just a little bit different. But when everybody says, bring yourself to the work, just be yourself, right? We hear these things. That's my like industry person voice, whatever. But we hear this stuff and and the longer you're in this business, the longer you're going to hear that and you're going to go, huh, I know how to do that. No, 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 no. I know how to do that. Say the word on the page and then go into your heart and your emotional gut and say what you're really thinking and feeling. And sometimes in classes, that stuff gets a little bit crazy. They got some F-bombs flying around and this, that, and the other because why? Because they're visceral words, right? Do you watch Netflix? Do you watch Hulu? You can't get away. You can't get hardly through anything anymore with something, right? Well, it has its place, right? In acting especially, and in acting training, it's visceral. Those words cut a little bit deeper. And so when we're trying to access our emotional life, like I might work with you in a scene, and if you're having a hard time like getting there, I might throw some stuff out at you that gets you there. One of my coaches, I was working on a cold read when I was at the school in New York, and he goes, I'm going to butcher his accent. He was a British acting coach. He works with all the like series regulars and everybody now in LA. And it was something like my boyfriend had cheated on me. I walked in and saw the situation. It was a really intense scene, you know, but very real. And I won't say the actual F-bomb here tonight, but what he basically says, how would you effing feel if you walked in and you saw your boyfriend effing another girl? I was like, I know, like, sorry about your volume, but he got, like I broke down in tears because he got that out of me. And that's what a really good coach is going to do for you. They're going to help get that out of you. But sometimes, you know, it takes some getting crazy, you know, to get to those places. But that's our unfiltered truth. When we put on a filter, we don't say stuff like that. And think about how much of a filter we have to have all day. All day. You know why I'm not watching the news? Because I'll yell at it because I get angry. And I don't have a filter. Right? We don't have a filter with things that we're passionate about. And when it comes to heightened emotional material, that's the thing. Well, do I just say it louder because I'm angry? No, come on. That's performing. You have to feel it. Because if you're not feeling anything, guess who else isn't feeling anything? The audience. If you're not truthfully experiencing something in your body, in your heart, in your emotional gut, in your spirit, guess who else isn't feeling anything? The audience. If you think it, if you feel it, the camera will see it. Before I got the Stephen King movie, guess what? I hadn't booked a big fancy SAG job yet. And you know what? My agent told me, because I was fresh out of acting school. I was like, I'm a classically trained actor. I'm showing all of my emotional life. I didn't know anything about film and TV. I didn't understand it. I didn't know. And you know what my agent said to me? He's like, kiddo, you've got some talent. You've got the drive. You're trying to show casting all your emotions. Like, what are you doing? It's like, what? What? I thought that was what acting was. I was so clueless. And then I stopped. And then I got the Stephen King movie. Now, it didn't do very well. That's why you don't know who I am, but you do know who Samuel Jackson and John Cusack are. But that's another thing. And with the time we have remaining, let me leave you. Unless there's any burning questions, there's something I kind of want to leave you with. Mia.
All right, well, you did mention how to make yourself cry, but I feel like 3 minutes is just not enough time. So maybe I shouldn't have. I'll wait till the next time.
She said, "Oh, 3 minutes."
But I don't we have like 2 minutes left. I was like, ends at 7:30.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave my question out.
Okay. Okay. iPhone 182. Whoa. What's your name? iPhone 182 has their hand raised. I don't see them. Can you put it in the chat? Oh, you know what? Are you
They disappeared.
Oh. Okay. Going to the chat. Oh, Valerie, thank you. That's so sweet. Audition coaching, yeah, it's in the app. There's a link in the app. You can do a 30 minute or an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we can pay to meet with you. We can schedule an appointment with you.
That has been there since before you joined your app. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yeah, if you guys
yeah,
go
yeah.
into the classroom tab and you'll see, I think it's the third one, says one-on-one sessions. If you click on that, you'll see sessions with myself, Tia, or Aaron. And that's where you can schedule. You'll go to our calendar and schedule a one-on-one with either one of us.
Yay. Mia, I'll tell you this. How about I promise you we'll do a workshop on nothing but emotional access. I got you, girl. I got you. Trisha.
Hi, sorry, I was iPhone 182. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what was wrong with Zoom, but on my Zoom. But I have a comedy monologue, and it seems more dramatic. Is it okay if I like tap into like crying and stuff like that on a comedy monologue?
You know what's funny? There's a book called Truth in Comedy. And they call it like the Bible of improv. And you know what I say to that is play the truth of it, because it's really funny when someone cries in a comedic environment, like Dumb and Dumber, when Jeff Daniels is sitting on the toilet. Sorry to bring it up, but it's a hilarious scene, and he's like in tears. Chris, I see you. I know, I love, right? It's actually hilarious because he's playing the truth of it underneath a whack circumstance. So feel it out, and who's working with you on the filming? They'll guide you to feel it out.
It's not a thick book. It's actually a really small. It's a small read.
Look at him!
Yes.
Look at Lance bringing it out. Hello, I'm a trained actor. I have all
man, it
the
is a great book.
books.
I think I have that Meisner one too. Every Meisner. Yeah, I got it over there somewhere. That and Ivana Chubbuck. You mentioned Ivana Chubbuck. She's great. The Power of the Actor. But guys,
Amazing.
I'm so sorry that I have to cut this out only because I have a class that I need to jump onto for slates. Actually, I might see one of you guys, I'm sure, in our slate class that's happening right now. So I unfortunately have to end this one so I can jump into my next one. But guys, let's give Miss Erin a round of applause. She will be with us moving forward. So I'll talk to her this coming week, and we'll get her next class going for May. On the calendar, and she'll always be doing something new, give or take. So we're so excited to have her. So Miss Erin, thank you so much for tonight. And
I feel so blessed. I was a little bit nervous. Ooh, I want to super serve y'all. I already know I'm going to do emotional access next.
Nice.
You got it, Mia.
All right, guys.
Thank you all
everyone,
so
have a good
much.
night. And until next time.
Much love. Much love.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys.
Bye.